at the heart of the Manchester City defence, but it's Chelsea. They're going to get us underway, or back underway here at Wembley Stadium, kicking from right to left. And it is Mauricio Pochettino's team that have us back in action. Long ball played forward. Only Madueke does well to pull it down and keep Chelsea in possession, but they're forced backwards, and we'll just have a quick run through the team news at the start of the second period in a moment or two. Kyle Walker with a booming clearance there to try and get City up the pitch. It's Conor Gallagher who's down off the ball there. He was caught by Walker making that clearance. No foul flagged by the referee, but he's going to blow for a quick stoppage here to allow Conor Gallagher to receive some treatment. Just a kick in the back by Walker, accidental there as he catches Conor Gallagher. Just a correction on that substitution, it wasn't Nathan Ake that was withdrawn. John Stones has been the player taken off by Pep Guardiola, but Ruben Diaz is on. I imagine that will be Manuel Akanji moving into midfield. So the Manchester City team in full: Stefan Ortega in goal, Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz and Nathan Ake in defence, Manuel Akanji and Rodri in defensive midfield, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Kevin De Bruyne and Jack Grealish, Julian Alvarez in attack. Wild effort from distance there for Noni Madueke. Poor ball out from Ortega was seized upon by Chelsea, but Madueke just lashes that one over the top. No changes for Pochettino and Chelsea at the break. Jordi Petrovic in goal, Gusto, Chalobah, Silva and Cucurella in defence, Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez in defensive midfield, and a front four of Madueke, Cole Palmer, Conor Gallagher and Nicholas Jackson. Chances at both ends. In the opening 45, Phil Foden coming the closest for Manchester City, did the hard bit, danced around Jordi Petrovic, but a vital touch at the last moment from Chelsea's Serbian international prevented him from getting a shot away at goal, and Nicholas Jackson wasted a glorious opportunity when put through by Enzo Fernandez. Cole Palmer also kept out by Stefan Ortega. Here is Palmer, crunches into a tackle there on Jack Grealish over on the far right hand side for Chelsea. Chelsea do well to win it back though. Fernandez finds Thiago Silva, Cucurella threads that one through to Enzo Fernandez. Ruben Diaz screaming for an offside there against Jackson. No flag, but he's unable to wriggle away from Kyle Walker. Forced backwards, Jackson. Just a reminder in case anybody needed to know, this game does have the potential for extra time and penalties. City have already gone through that once this week. Defeat to Manchester City in the Champions League has ended Pep Guardiola's hopes of a double treble. And they are still in a position for a double-double. 2 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. Arsenal in action away at Wolves tonight could change that picture. Available here on Flashcore from 7:30, and Jackson is through here, he's in behind, and another poor effort from Jackson, and another save from Stefan Ortega. Palmer will keep it alive and he floats it back into Jackson, saved again by Ortega. Two chances in 30 seconds for Chelsea's number 15, both denied by Stefan Ortega, and a similar pattern to the first 45 minutes. He looked unconvincing in both instances. Wriggled away and got the wrong side of Walker, he was clean through. A good save initially from Ortega. Palmer with the ball back in from the right hand side, headed down into the ground by Nicholas Jackson and poured away by the Manchester City goalkeeper. Mauricio Pochettino, head in hands moments for the Argentinian coach there at the start of the second period for Chelsea. The offside flag eventually flashes up against Malo Gusto. Long ball forward there to try and release the Frenchman in behind. But again, a Chelsea opportunity wasted by Nicholas Jackson. He was possibly caught a little bit by surprise when that ball was threaded through to him. Kyle Walker was slow to react, but Stefan Ortega wasn't. Palmer's ball back in, but again just not enough force behind the header to cause a real problem for City. Here's Rodri, tries to switch it over to that far left hand side for Jack Grealish, just inside the Chelsea half of the pitch. He's caught by Noni Madueke. Referee raised play on. Grealish was appealing for a foul there, but Michael Oliver happy to pay the advantage. City will switch it across to this near right side now. De Bruyne forces the corner. Thiago Silva quickly across to slam the door in his face. City will have themselves first corner of the second half. Phil Foden to take here on this near right hand side. Diaz's introduction will be an extra asset for City, but that's a poor corner to the front post by Foden, cleared away by Chelsea. Palmer gets there before Foden to hoof it clear for Chelsea. Diaz beats Jackson to it on the halfway line. City will come again. Calm possession for Manchester City inside the centre circle. Akanji now firmly installed as a central midfielder. City happy to drop to a back three when they're out of possession. Ake, Diaz and Kyle Walker. Akanji backing Rodri up in the middle of the pitch, and then Foden, De Bruyne, Grealish and Alvarez free to try and attack this Chelsea team. Here is Kyle Walker. Steps in field, gets away from Conor Gallagher over the halfway line for Manchester City. So crowded in that central core of the pitch, and Chelsea won back possession here. Jackson again on the march. Tries to feed it through to Palmer, but it's dealt with by Diaz. Almost played into trouble by Manuel Akanji, but he just about steers that one round Conor Gallagher. Cucurella will lead the press on Bernardo Silva. Really good play there from City to get themselves out of trouble on the edge of their own box. Silva now over the halfway line, down the Manchester City right, onto Kevin De Bruyne. Played in field to Rodri. Manchester City have got men over here if they can switch it quickly to Grealish. Grealish to go one-on-one with Gusto inside the box. Squared for Foden. Foden with the strike. Petrovic with the save. City's best move of the second period. Jack Grealish just laid that across the edge of the 18-yard box to Phil Foden. Petrovic got down, made the save. Might have possibly come back off the upright. We'll have to check a replay on that as Kevin De Bruyne tries to lift it in from the right hand side, behind by Cucurella. Corner to City. Phil Foden couldn't have done much more with that effort. Kept it down, tested Petrovic. City now will come again. Short corner, Foden to De Bruyne, back to Foden. Floats it in from the right hand side, but it's headed away by Gusto, only as far as Grealish on that far side for Manchester City. Now Julian Alvarez into the free to De Bruyne. Tried a quick 1-2 round the corner to Akanji, but Chelsea are there to deal with it. Palmer looking to step away down the left for Chelsea now. Into the channel for Jackson to chase. He's trapped by Kyle Walker. Needs to hold this up, Nicholas Jackson, and wait for support. Walker just steps off and allows him to go backwards to Cucurella. Caicedo with the crossfield ball now. Chelsea happy to settle into a similar pattern from the first half and try and contain Manchester City. Look to hit them on the break, use the creativity of Palmer, the speed of Jackson. And that's it. Poor challenge from Jack Grealish on Noni Madueke over on the far right hand side. It's a cheap free kick to concede just outside the Manchester City 18-yard box. Grealish caught out by Madueke's feet. Just been shown a replay of that Phil Foden opportunity. It was a save from Petrovic. Not against the woodwork for Phil Foden. Two strong hands behind it from Jordi Petrovic. A real bit of zip about the second period here at Wembley. Free kick to Chelsea in a crossing position over on that far right hand side. 55 minutes gone here on Flashscore UK. No goals as yet at Wembley Stadium. Manchester City 0, Chelsea 0. And a place back here in the final is the prize. Palmer just fires that one past the post for Chelsea. Chelsea players are appealing for a touch off Manchester City inside the box there. Palmer's complaining. He thought that was a corner to Chelsea. Went through the Manchester City wall. It did seem to strike Jack Grealish on the leg as it went through. Possible shout for a handball here. Palmer's appeals did seem to be a bit more vociferous than just asking for a corner. And the arm is outstretched by Jack Grealish as that one was fired goalwards. And there could be a big decision for Michael Oliver to make here. It is being checked. And there is no penalty. Michael Oliver waves away Chelsea's appeals. That is a big call from the referee here at Wembley. Certainly within the context of the Premier League this season, we've seen similar situations given as a spot kick. Based on Cole Palmer's record from 12 yards, that could have been a big problem for Manchester City, but no penalty and still 0-0. Here's Rodri. Just feeds that one over to the right hand side to Kyle Walker, who gallops over the halfway line for Manchester City. No sign of any changes in the second period just yet. Pochettino happy with the work from his Chelsea players. Change at the break from Guardiola. Diaz for Stones is the only substitution as it stands. Hoisted over to that left hand side to Grealish. He'll find a cross into the box, but Cucurella heads it clear. Caicedo challenged by Akanji, knocked down by De Bruyne. Eventually the referee blows for a foul there. Chelsea players are still appealing over that penalty scenario with Jack Grealish. Manchester City wall broke in half as Palmer's free kick went through them. Jack Grealish in the middle of the three as it zipped past the post eventually. Grealish certainly seeing the funny side of that in the aftermath. I don't think he would have been smiling too much if Michael Oliver had given a penalty. A close call for him. Chelsea will try and build again through the middle. Free kick given in favour of Chelsea. Palmer tried to take that one quickly, but Michael Oliver will push him back. Just fizzed over the top in the direction of either Jackson or Madueke. It's not going to reach either of them. He'll drift behind for a goal kick. Alvarez has been cautioned in the aftermath of that quick free kick debacle for Chelsea. Likely for something that he said to Michael Oliver off the ball. Just looking through the Manchester City team sheet from the Real Madrid game in midweek, there's obviously been changes made by Pep Guardiola, but Kyle Walker, Rodri, Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden all played 120 minutes. All start today. Will fatigue be a concern as the clock ticks on? Grealish forced infield to Rodri. Goes square to Ruben Diaz, halfway inside the Manchester City half. Kevin De Bruyne will drop into the centre circle to pick it up. Back with Rodri. Kyle Walker wants it on the overlap down the right hand side. Rodri ignores it for now, but De Bruyne will eventually feed it through. Walker drifted offside there, so he let the ball run beyond him. Cucurella will deal with that and De Bruyne will concede the throw in. Interesting to see how Mauricio Pochettino plays the final half an hour of the 90 here. There's obviously the huge potential for extra time and penalties as both teams try and push for an FA Cup final spot. They've had a much longer preparation window here. Jack Grealish tries to step forward and fire that one goalwards, but it's blocked behind for a corner by Trevor Chalobah. Chelsea's last game was that 6-0 thumping of Everton in Premier League action on Monday night. Given the importance of this game for Pochettino in his first season in charge, it's perfectly likely that he will throw his eggs in the FA Cup basket. Corner for City, cleared over that far side by Cucurella, but it's kept in play by Bernardo Silva. Finds its way all the way back across to the left hand side. Grealish will help it on to Alvarez. Alvarez flicks it in. Kanji's beaten to it by Thiago Silva. Grealish thought about the shot, tried to dummy his way through, but it's eventually dealt with by Chelsea, and Chelsea can break here. Jackson is away from Kyle Walker, but Walker's back with him, bustling him away over on that far side. Jackson goes to ground, he's appealing for the penalty. Nothing doing from the referee initially. Chelsea players not appealing particularly hard for that one. He's so strong in those types of situations, Kyle Walker, the recovery pace and the strength that he's got one-on-one. He's happy to go toe-to-toe with any striker in the world. I don't think there's enough in that to give a penalty for Nicholas Jackson, who was trying to get himself the wrong side of Walker. Really, really strong piece of defender from the Manchester City. Hoof it clear for Chelsea. Diaz beats Jackson to it on the halfway line. City steers that one over to the left-hand side. Grealish will step on into the box. Grealish past one, past two. Cleared at the near post by Chelsea. Thiago Silva again on duty there for Pochettino. City want to get this restarted quickly. Throw-in taken. Grealish to Akanji. Rodri from distance, blocked by Fernandes. Conor Gallagher will just try and feed that one up the line to Nicholas Jackson, but it'll be a throw-in to Manchester City. Chelsea just need to find a way to steady themselves in the contest once again. You do have that threat of Jackson on the break, albeit not yet used to full effect by the Senegalese international. He's been the chief chance misser. Manchester City so calm, switching the play from right to left and left to right, and looking to move the Chelsea chess pieces. Pochettino has been the grand master in the opening 65 minutes here. Happy to put the pressure on Pep Guardiola. Manchester City's double chances depend on today. Coventry or Manchester United awaiting the final. They'll do battle here at Wembley Stadium tomorrow. Manchester United and Manchester City, of course, faced off in the final last year. City the victors, en route to winning the treble. Poor ball forward from Rodri. Tried to find De Bruyne, but it was misplaced by the Spanish international. Let's steer you towards our live coverage of FA Cup and Premier League action tomorrow. It's a busy weekend across both competitions, alongside the 7:30 UK PM kickoff. I'll repeat that one again. Alongside the 7:30 PM UK kickoff in the Premier League between Wolves and Arsenal tonight. Also have action tomorrow. Coventry against Manchester City, FA Cup semi-final at 3:30, and before that at 1:30 we have Everton against Nottingham Forest, Premier League relegation battle. 2 3 PM Premier League kickoffs: Aston Villa at home to Bournemouth, Crystal Palace at home to West Ham. And then to round up the domestic action in English football, Fulham against Liverpool at 4:30, before an 8 PM El Clasico, Real Madrid against Barcelona. Los Blancos closing in on the La Liga title. Grealish has got himself a problem here for City. He's signalled over to the bench. He's feeling his calf, the England winger, as he went down there. Guardiola and Pochettino both taking this opportunity to pull their players in for a quick chat. 25 minutes of normal time to go. Jackson with 2 chances for Chelsea, 2 clear chances. Phil Foden denied by Petrovic at the other end. The tension continues to creep up here at Wembley Stadium. Manchester City bidding for a 3rd FA Cup final under Pep Guardiola. Chelsea trying to reach the final for the 4th time in 5 years. And it is going to be a change here for City. Jeremy Doku is being prepared. I think it is to be Jack Grealish that will be replaced. he's able to walk off Jack Grealish. I think it's looking to preserve him. City, of course, have a busy Premier League schedule on the horizon. Away to Brighton on Thursday, April 25th. And a trip to Nottingham Forest next weekend. Not happy there, Jack Grealish. Had a few choice words for the fourth official, Darren England. So watch himself here, Grealish. He's engaged in a bit of verbals with the officials there. Manchester City are becoming increasingly tetchy here over a collection of decisions that have gone against them in the last few minutes. Michael Oliver's just called Manuel Akanji and Kyle Walker over for a chat. Nicholas Jackson is close by. Chelsea will be happy with this to disrupt the flow of the game a little bit as City build up a head of steam. And we have a break in play here. We can bring you team news from Molineux. A 7:30 kick-off between Wolves and Arsenal. Arsenal bidding to go back on top of the Premier League table with victory in the West Midlands. Mikel Arteta's side, of course, dumped down to the Champions League themselves also in midweek, losing to Bundesliga giants Bayern Munich. Chelsea just looking to get a bit of possession in defence. It's given away by Thiago Silva. His namesake Bernardo tried to punch a hole back through the Chelsea defence, but Thiago is there on duty to clear up. Team news from Molineux. We'll start off with Wolves. Jose Sarr in goal. Back three of Bueno, Kilman and Gomez. Matt Doherty, Traore, João Gomez and Hugo Bueno in midfield. And a front three of Chiroera, Doyle and Hwang Hee-chan. As for Arsenal, David Raya, Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, Jakub Kiwior, Martin Odegaard, Declan Rice and Kai Havertz, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Jesus and Leandro Trossard. If you are staying with us here on Flashscore tonight, that game should neatly follow this one. But of course that depends on the possibility of extra time and penalties. Nice turn there from Kyle Walker on Cole Palmer on halfway to get away from his man. He's fed it in behind to Caicedo. He tried to lift that one to the far post to Jackson, but he just couldn't get enough under it. Cole Palmer picking the City lock there. Just wriggled away from Akanji inside his own half. Spotted that the run of Jackson was an offside one, but he found Caicedo. And Caicedo's ball to Jackson just didn't have enough curl to find him. Certainly has a bit of a point to prove, of course. Cole Palmer, sold by Manchester City last summer. Pep Guardiola said ahead of this game that he'd been asking to leave the club for 2 years, frustrated over his first team role, and he is shining for Chelsea this season. Here's Doku dropping back into left back, his first involvement since replacing Jack Grealish. Nice reverse ball down the line to Kevin De Bruyne. Foden. Rodri will switch it over to the left now with Bernardo Silva. Space for Silva to dart into. Conor Gallagher will get back and put him under pressure, so he's forced infield to Doku. 8 Chelsea players back on the edge of their own 18-yard box, but Doku will wriggle through. He forces a save with the legs of Jordi Petrovic. That burst of pace from a standing start that Doku has got is something Chelsea will need to be mindful of. Poses a different type of threat to Jack Grealish. Chelsea defenders are already aware of him. Gusto Madueke immediately out to press him over on that far left-hand side. He does again just scorches past Gusto into the feet of Alvarez. De Bruyne will steer one past the post from Kevin De Bruyne. Scored the equaliser to force extra time and penalties against Real Madrid in midweek. De Bruyne, of course, controversially wasn't on the pitch when the game did go to penalties. He requested to be substituted because of an injury, as did Erling Haaland. Haaland not fit enough to be involved today. He's not on the roster for Guardiola. 20 minutes of the regulation 90 to go here at Wembley Stadium. Manchester City 0, Chelsea 0. Will it be another marathon night for Manchester City? It's well won by Rodri in the centre circle. Nods it forward onto Kevin De Bruyne. Shuffled out wide to the left to Jeremy Doku. Doku will look to exploit that opportunity now. Finds Akanji on the overlap, fed in, cleared by Chalobah. Backs to the wall stuff here for Chelsea as Palmer tries to steer that forward to Madueke, but he can't keep it under control. City will try and turn the screw. Quickly taken throw to Doku. Gets himself past Gusto, but Gusto will get in to make the block. Corner to Manchester City. Doku is the man for City at the moment, giving Chelsea a fresh headache to deal with. Gusto's gone down inside the box here, and this potentially will be something we'll see in the final 15 to 20 minutes. Chelsea players looking to break the flow of the contest. Gusto's just put his hand up there to signal that he needs some treatment. Mauricio Pochettino will be playing his substitution cards close to his chest. He has options to bolster his defence if needed. Axel Disasi and Ben Chilwell. Alfie Gilchrist, of course, is also amongst the potential alterations. Raheem Sterling, Mikhailo Mudryk as well. Sterling scored in that 1-1 draw against Manchester City back in February. Rodri's late equaliser rescuing a point for Guardiola at the Etihad. It was Cole Palmer's added time penalty that secured a draw at Stamford Bridge in November. As it stands, we are heading for a third successive draw, certainly inside 90 minutes anyway. Manchester United and Coventry City fans will be watching with interest. Coventry City unlikely to make the EFL Championship promotion places in the final few weeks of the campaign. It's all or nothing for them in the FA Cup semi-final. You could make a case to say it's the same for Manchester United. No chance of Champions League qualification. The FA Cup is their only trophy route. Corner for City, just hangs under the crossbar and claimed by Jordi Petrovic. Michael Oliver is having a word with a few Chelsea players here over time wasting. He knows they will look to slow the game down and frustrate. Augusto will just have to wait a moment before he's allowed to be reintroduced. He's had to go off for that check by the Chelsea medical team. Petrovic ushering his defenders forwards. He's going to go long with this goal kick. Ake gets there before Madueke. De Bruyne will head it on to Foden. Caicedo picks up the loose ball. Akanji tries to nick that one forward to Rodri, but it bounces kindly for Jackson. Akanji will get back. Madueke with a chance, blocked on the edge of the box by Rodri. Just fizzes back out into the middle of the Manchester City half, picked up by Thiago Silva. He'll go to Fernandes. Ball into the feet of the overlapping Marc Cucurella, was just behind the Spanish defender. The throw in to City. Gusto is ushered back on by referee Michael Oliver. Chelsea back up to their full quota of 11. Walker with the throw in to the feet of Alvarez, trying to nick that round the corner to Kevin De Bruyne, and referee Michael Oliver's blown for a foul against the Argentinian, or on the Argentinian rather. Just inside the Manchester City half. We tick down into the final 15 minutes here at Wembley Stadium. Eighth FA Cup final, semi-final, 7th FA Cup semi-final, for Pep Guardiola as Manchester City boss. Reached the final twice and has emerged as victor in both. City switched that left over to Doku, steps inside Gusto, goes down. Wanted a free kick there, Jeremy Doku, referee says no. Cleared away by Chelsea. Jackson just ran into Ruben Diaz there. There's a foul on Nathan Ake. The Man City players swarming around Michael Oliver. They're quick to take the free kick. is down the left-hand side for Julian Alvarez. He's held up by Trevor Chalobah. He lifts it off for Jeremy Doku, who'll cut inside to the Chelsea box. Cleared only as far as Gallagher. He's blocked off by De Bruyne. Alvarez tries to help it on back to De Bruyne, but Petrovic will come and claim that. We're now seeing a little bit of movement down on the Chelsea bench. Mauricio Pochettino in conversation with his coaching staff as he considers a couple of potential changes. As Cucurella takes a quick throw from left back for Chelsea. Gallagher helps that onto Jackson on halfway, but Manchester City quickly on top of Jackson. Cucurella will step in to help him out. Well done there from Cucurella to win the ball back for Chelsea. Switched over to that right hand side to Noni Madueke. Gusto on the way to help him out. Fed on to Gusto. Akanji will get there. Makes the block. Turns it behind for a corner to Chelsea. Happy to mix it up. Mauricio Pochettino's side, they know they will create chances. Manchester City will give them an opportunity or two. Got ourselves another injury concern. Stefan Ortega, the Manchester City goalkeeper, is now down. Kyle Walker's given the shout over to Pep Guardiola to send on some help for the Manchester City keeper. Ederson is of course on the bench for Guardiola if needed. Saved and scored a penalty against Real Madrid in that ultimately defeated penalty shootout. Kept out Luka Modric. Knocked in his own penalty. It was ultimately all in vain as Antonio Rudiger converted the final spot kick, and it is Real Madrid against Bayern Munich in the Champions League semi-finals. This is a concern for Ortega. He rolled his ankle as he was preparing for a cross to come into the box there. Guardiola down on his haunches inside the technical area, watches on with intent. Finely balanced contest here at Wembley Stadium. The Pochettino strategy, as expected, has worked well against Manchester City. Ortega is back on his feet for now, just stretching out that ankle, and he's ready to face a corner. And Conor Gallagher, who'll go over to that far Chelsea right hand side to take. Imagine the Chelsea players will pile in on Stefan Ortega here. Opportunity to unsettle the Manchester City goalkeeper. Gallagher to take. Goes deep. Headed away by Ruben Diaz on the edge of the box. Kept alive by Moises Caicedo. Gusto will loft that back in. Palmer helps it on. He can only help it past the post. Couldn't get a clean contact on that. Chelsea number 20. And City players were looking across the line for an offside flag there, but Cole Palmer had kept himself the right side of the Manchester City defence. We are going to see a couple of Chelsea changes for the final 10 minutes. It'll be Mykhailo Mudryk to replace Noni Madueke. A straight switch from the Chelsea front line. Axel Disasi is also being readied by Mauricio Pochettino. We'll get confirmation on who he replaces in just a moment. Looks to be Malo Gusto. Two changes down the Chelsea right. Axel Disasi in at right back, and Mykhailo Mudryk just in front of him. Disasi, of course, straight into the action up against Jeremy Doku. I think it's going to be a switch of sides from Conor Gallagher. He'll go over to the right. Mykhailo Mudryk will come to the left, and Gallagher and Palmer will rotate between a right hand sided attacking role and a number 10. Gallagher who'll chase down that clearance from Ruben Diaz. Wanted a corner there, the Chelsea skipper, but it's a goal kick. 10 minutes to play here. Guardiola and Pochettino locked in stalemate once again this season. Nothing able to separate them in their two Premier League meetings. Something of a pest for Pep this season, Mauricio Pochettino. It's frustrating for the Argentinian on his return to Premier League football. He's not got Chelsea to where he would have wanted in terms of the Premier League. Currently 9th in the table. They have a chance to push for a trophy here, and if they get an opportunity to nick a goal, it could be them heading to the final next month. A foul there by Gallagher on Ruben Diaz. Diaz will lift it forward into the Chelsea half. Bernardo Silva takes it down, finds Kyle Walker. Now Rodri looking to make ground in field, finds Phil Foden. He's been sidelined within the action for the last 10 minutes or so. Foden, he picks it up here on the edge of the Chelsea box, spreads it out left to Ake, onto Doku on the overlap. Gallagher quickly out there to back up Axel Disasi as Jeremy Doku just rolls his studs over it, tries to find a way past Disasi, but he's forced backwards to Ake. Chelsea camped on the edge of their own 18-yard box here. Good intervention there from Trevor Chalobah to get it clear, but Kanji will keep it going for Manchester City. Now Diaz just posts that infield to Rodri. They come right here to Bernardo Silva. He's forced backwards by Mudryk, and then Cucurella. Akanji back to Silva, rolls that along the edge of the Chelsea 18-yard box. Foden finds De Bruyne. De Bruyne with his back to goal though, he's not able to spin away from Caicedo, and it's eventually eased back out to Jeremy Doku on that left-hand side, onto Rodri on the edge of the box. They immediately swarmed though by Mudryk. Finds a little pocket of space to Bernardo Silva, on into Akanji inside the box. It's crowded and congested in there, and cut back, and he fired over the top by Julian Alvarez. Chelsea happy just to get bodies back in there and shuffle and frustrate and block off Manchester City. He's had a quiet game. Julian Alvarez stepping in as Erling Haaland's replacement, of course. A good second season for him. He's scored 16 goals in all competitions, and it's 17 last season. You'd be confident that he'll break that tally in the final few weeks of the 2023-2024 season. He's not been able to find the back of the net so far. Jordi Petrovic will once again go long. He's taken down very nicely by Mauricio Pochettino inside the Chelsea technical area. The referee's just whistled before play will restart here, and he's reached into his pocket for a yellow card for Phil Foden. Another caution for a Manchester City player for dissent. Pep Guardiola will want if this game edges on into extra time. Diaz now with the crossfield ball over to Jeremy Doku. Nicely taken down by the Belgian, but he's immediately confronted by Axel Disasi. Tries to feed that one on into the box to De Bruyne. De Bruyne squares it across, it falls for Silva, and it's in the back of the net, deflected off Marc Cucurella, and Manchester City finally have the breakthrough here at Wembley Stadium. It looked as if we were edging on towards a period of extra time. Doku with the layoff, De Bruyne with the cutback. Chelsea can't deal with it, and Bernardo Silva forces it home at the far post, and Manchester City are edging themselves towards another FA Cup final. Marc Cucurella did his best at the far post to keep out Bernardo Silva, but as it sat up for the Portuguese international, he got a good contact on it. His 12th goal of the season in all competitions. Credit to Doku here, he drew 3 Chelsea players towards him. De Bruyne onto the byline, cuts it back. I think it was initially intended for Julian Alvarez. Chelsea dealt with it initially, but as it span up 6 yards from goal, the calmest man in Wembley, Bernardo Silva, finds the finish. And the Chelsea game plan in dramatic style is unravelled, and Pep Guardiola now is 5 minutes of normal time away from another Wembley final. Can Chelsea find a response to turn this tie around? It's cruel on Chelsea in some respects defensively. Structurally they've been excellent, but they've had their chances. Nicholas Jackson's missed 3 opportunities to put them in front. There have been warning signs in terms of the volume of possession that Manchester City have had. It's not been their greatest day in terms of chance creation, but they've got the quality, they've got the experience in these clutch moments, and now they have the advantage. 4 minutes of the 90 to go, plus whatever the officials choose to add on. Darren, England will be keenly watched by the Chelsea fans in the next few moments. Enzo Fernandez goes to the ground after colliding with Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne is not happy with that one. He thinks Argentinians made a meal of that one. Michael Oliver will dish out a couple of cards here. Just get a confirmation on who that was. I assume one of them was to Kevin De Bruyne. It was a great tackle by De Bruyne, and Fernandez appeared to kick out at him after that one. An update on those 2 cautions in just a moment, but Chelsea try and come forward down their left hand side. It's Fernandez who helps it on, but Ortega's quickly out of his goal to clear. Goes long this time, the City goalkeeper. Headed down by Silva and headed backwards by Caicedo. Disasi will get there just before Doku. That was Kevin De Bruyne, who was booked for Manchester City in the furore after that tackle. Enzo Fernandez joining him in the referee's notebook. Poor ball forward from Gallagher, but it's cut out by De Bruyne. He couldn't quite release Alvarez in behind, and Chelsea, who inevitably now have to go for broke, will start committing players forward. Manchester City with the potential to burst in behind. It's going to be Pep Guardiola with the first change in the final few moments. Oscar Bob is going to be brought on. Norwegian international has been a FA Cup regular for Manchester City this season. Made 4 appearances. And he's going to be brought on just to try and steer Manchester City over the line here. Julian Alvarez replaced for the final 2 minutes of normal time. Ben Chilwell is going to come on for Chelsea. Mauricio Pochettino frustrated. He's trying to get a double substitution on here. Ben Chilwell and Raheem Sterling. Michael Oliver eventually relents and allows the 2 changes to be made. Enzo Fernandez and Marc Cucurella that have been withdrawn. Chilwell in at left back for Chelsea. Raheem Sterling straight into the Chelsea attack. Bob squeezes Trevor Chalobah backwards. He goes to Petrovic and Silva. And Chilwell has taken over the captain's armband for Chelsea as well from Conor Gallagher. Here is Chilwell. Just nudges that one backwards inside his own half to Thiago Silva. This is not where the ball wants to be for Mauricio Pochettino. Needs to get it forward. Needs to get it to the feet of his attacking players, and Palmer will try and fizz that one in behind for Jackson, but it's gone all the way through to Stefan Ortega. Is there time for one more chance, one more twist? Ake just loft that forward towards Oscar Bob, but Trevor Chalobah will get there first, and final touch did come off the Chelsea defender. Or did not come off the Chelsea defender, rather. The referee seems to change his mind in that decision. The throw in is forced backwards by Bob and Foden. Richards comes out to Chilwell at left back. Here's Mudryk dropping deep to try and help out. Round the corner to Jackson. Chilwell on the march, on the overlap. He's carried this all the way on into the Manchester City box. Can he find a ball in? Blocked behind by Ruben Diaz. Corner to Chelsea. Good burst forward there by the Chelsea substitute Chilwell. Pochettino's side, another opportunity to load this one into the box. It's going to be Mykhailo Mudryk to take. Right-footed from the Chelsea left. We tick over the 90-minute mark. Mudryk with the delivery. Headed away by Diaz. Picked up by Chilwell on the edge of the box. He's caught by Kevin De Bruyne. Chelsea want a free kick. Referee says no, play on. Mudryk will loft it in towards the far post. Chalobah can't get there. Goal kick to Manchester City, and the board has been flashed up by Darren England. 8 minutes of additional time here to play. 8 minutes for Manchester City to hold on. 8 minutes for Chelsea to find something to keep their FA Cup campaign, and in reality their season alive. Referee Michael Oliver just warning Stefan Ortega over this goal kick, telling him to hurry up. Pochettino still has the option of one more substitute. Carney Chukwuemeka probably be the likely option as an attacking goal threat. Here comes City down the right hand side, just looking to keep possession, take the sting out of added time. Foden loses out to Gallagher. Nice play there from Chelsea to nick the ball away from left back and move forward. But Sterling's challenged by Rodri, no free kick. Oscar Bob bundled to the floor by Thiago Silva, but Kevin De Bruyne will take over and steer that over to the far left hand side to Doku. Doku will just drop to walking pace, but then he can steam past Axel Disasi. Tried the 1-2 with De Bruyne. Goal kick to Chelsea. 2 minutes of the additional 8 gone. And Pep Guardiola might be preparing another change or two to eat up some time in the added time. Chelsea need to get the ball forward. Petrovic switches that out to the left back, Ben Chilwell. It was a heavy touch from Chilwell and he's lost possession here. Silva finds Bob on the edge of the box, fed back to De Bruyne, blocked by Chalobah. That will spin away over to the far side. Doku will see it out for a throw into Manchester City. Kevin De Bruyne screaming at the Manchester City defenders to stay back. City in preservation mode here. De Bruyne knows that nothing elaborate is needed. Just needs to keep the ball in the Chelsea half. And they are on their way back to Wembley here in the FA Cup final next month. Manchester United and Coventry will fight it out tomorrow to join them. May 25th will be the date as the latest odd stands. It will be a repeat of the 2023 final. Manchester City winning a Manchester derby in the capital, of course. Looking just to play through these final 8 minutes of additional time. Rodri with the switch over to Doku. Now De Bruyne. Ake. Kyle Walker just helping Phil Foden back to his feet there as Manchester City playmaker took a breather. He was one of those players that went the distance against Real Madrid in midweek, of course. Expected if this contest had gone in a different direction for Manchester City in terms of an earlier lead. He potentially could have been taken off for a rest. It's a foul by Silva on Conor Gallagher, who's back there battling away at left back for Chelsea. He's not giving up on this just yet. And there is still time for Chelsea to carve out an opportunity. 4 minutes of the additional 8 to play. Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. Bernardo Silva with a late goal. That, as it stands, is sending Manchester City back to Wembley for a second successive FA Cup final. Good work there on the far side by Caicedo to beat De Bruyne to the loose ball. Cleared upfield by Caicedo. Nodded down by Sterling. They'll be helped on by Palmer. Back to Sterling, but final touch comes off the Chelsea number 7. It'll be a throw into City on halfway. Pep Guardiola screaming to his players to maintain their calmness, keep their composure. He knows that they're almost there. They just need to withstand a few more moments of pressure. I don't think we will be seeing any substitutions in the final seconds. Pep Guardiola initially was in conversation with a couple of his substitutes, but seems to have changed his mind. He's happy to just try and see this one over the line. Jackson will get there before Akanji. That's a really important header from Diaz to beat Mykhailo Mudryk to it on halfway, and De Bruyne will again try and find Doku down that left hand side. No need for Doku to take on Disasi here, just holds it up. Try and drive to the byline, eat down the clock and keep Manchester City where they want to be. De Bruyne will take over, but his cross is deflected into the box and into the arms of Petrovic. Fed over to Ben Chilwell. Foden goes to the ground to try and stop him, but he's gone past him and past Silva. He brought down by Bernardo Silva. Free kick to Chelsea, just inside the Manchester City half. Good burst there from Ben Chilwell. It's caused a couple of problems for City since he's come on. If this ball is to be clipped into the Manchester City box, their delivery needs to be right, and it needs to be now. It's going to be Cole Palmer to take, left-footed from the left-hand side. Drifted in. Akanji goes up. Up goes Rodri. He gets there first to the loose ball. Gallagher will keep it alive on the edge of the box, but he loses out to Bob. Really good tackle there from the City substitute, and Manchester City can break here. They won't do so at pace. They know they don't need to find a second goal. Doku will go to De Bruyne, and De Bruyne will go to the corner. Caicedo gets over there to try and win possession and stop him from wasting time. Chelsea do win it back with Chalobah. Chalobah just clips that across the Chelsea 18-yard box to Chilwell. Just over a minute of the additional 8 still to go here at Wembley Stadium. All eyes on Chelsea to see if they can create one more chance to threaten Manchester City's place in the FA Cup final. Here's Palmer, very, very deep, the former Man City man, but he spins away from Bob. Feeds it into Sterling on the halfway line, but he's forced back by Ake. Back inside the Chelsea half of the pitch now, and they're going to try one final throw of the dice. Chilwell plays that down into the channel to Mykhailo Mudryk, but he's bundled to the floor by Kyle Walker. The referee signalling in favour of Mudryk here, and it is going to be a free kick for Chelsea. He thought about that for a moment, Michael Oliver. Seemed to be initially flagging for a corner, but he's changed his mind, and it's going to be a free kick to Chelsea. Walker's not happy with that, and we will have one final opportunity for Chelsea to load one into the box. 5 yards from the dead ball line on the left hand side, and it is Mudryk to take. He's got up and dusted himself down from that challenge by Walker. No sign of the goalkeeper. Petrovic has stayed back for now. Mudryk's delivery is in, and it is a shocking attempt from the Ukrainian international. An absolute waste at the death from the Chelsea number 10. He rushed it, and he just curled it beyond that far post. Ortega happy to watch it behind. Pep Guardiola's going to try and sneak Mateo Kovacic on for the final seconds, but we are over the 8 additional minutes, and I don't think he's going to get a chance. Stefan Ortega is going to kick this long, and Manchester City are preparing to celebrate. They will be back at Wembley for a second successive FA Cup semi-final. Ortega goes long. Rodri will help that on to Silva, headed back forward in the direction of Oscar Bob. He'll chase down Chalobah. We're into added time, on the end of added time here now. That's nodded forward in the direction of Nicholas Jackson, and the referee blows the final whistle. It is all over here at Wembley Stadium. A late show for Manchester City. Bernardo Silva's goal 3 minutes before the end of normal time ensures that Pep Guardiola will be back at Wembley in the FA Cup semi-final. As for Chelsea, Mauricio Pochettino's strategy worked to a T for the majority of the game, but the class and experience of City's big game players ultimately proving decisive in the final stages. And at full time here on Flashscore UK at Wembley Stadium, it is Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. We'll be here with all the live action from the other FA Cup semi-final between Manchester United and Coventry City tomorrow. Don't forget to check that out. 3:30 p.m. kickoff, and the big Premier League game tonight at Molineux, 7:30 p.m. start, Wolves against Arsenal. Thanks for listening, and semi-final between Manchester United